We are here at Mike's Towing, a locally owned towing company, and right now we are watching Philip load this vehicle onto this carrier. Now this tow truck is called a carrier because it loads a car onto its bed and then carries it completely on its bed to the destination. Now it uses hydraulics in order to move its bed into a ramp-like position, and then cables and chains are used underneath the car to drag it onto the bed. Now the operating controls of this truck are located on both sides in order to give the driver the best maneuverability in order to get its vehicles that it needs to tow onto its bed. Now this is not the only type of tow truck. This is what is known as a carrier. There's also a wrecker that you will see later after this vehicle has been put on the carrier. Now you can see the bed is moving into the better position in order to get this car on. Now we are going to watch the driver hook the J-hooks and cables underneath the car so it can be dragged onto the bed. You can see the driver looks for the best place to put the cables and chains so that the vehicle is not damaged, yet there is enough strength in the metal that he hooks the J-hooks to that the axles will not bend and will be able to support the much needed strain that will drag the vehicle onto the bed. As you can see, the cables are being reeled in by a little motor that has a lot of power. This motor is very reliable and has been used since this truck has been here. The driver uses the steering wheel in order to make sure the car does not go off of either side. This, being a newer tow truck, has rails on each side, as you can see. Therefore, the car has much harder time rolling off to either side, but usually that has no effect on whether the car is being able to put on the carrier. The driver attaches cables to each wheel in order to ensure that the car will not move or be nudged in any direction as he drives back to either the shop or the desired destination by the customer whose vehicle it belongs to. The hydraulics are then used after the car is completely on the bed of the carrier to lift and then station the car. These trucks carry all the equipment a driver could need in order to tow a car. Most trucks even contain gas, jumpers, jump starters, and any other piece of equipment that they may or will need in the line. Here is some of the equipment that is used. As you can see, you got your J-hooks, your cables, chains, and straps. Although not every tow requires them, they are a must on the tow trucks. Drivers check daily inspections to make sure all the equipment is loaded onto the trucks. As you can see, the car has now been successfully pulled onto the bed of this carrier, and now, if needed, this carrier could tow this car anywhere it would need, whether it be back to the customer's house. If the vehicle is on a 30-day hold, then it would be towed back to the boneyard. The boneyard is the yard where they stow all cars that are unable to be given back to their customer, whether because of CHP holds, overdue tickets, or just a rolled over car that cannot drive or be towed to a mechanic due to insurance problems. Now we take a look at a different type of tow truck. This is called the Wrecker. As you can see, it doesn't have a carrying bed on it. This is used for easy tows. The carrier can be used for any tow. If you roll your car and the axles are broken and there's no way you can get it onto a wrecker, you can drag it with J-hooks onto the bed no matter what. The Wrecker, you would place the front two wheels into these bars, and then you would be lifted using the same hydraulics used on the carrier to where it would drag the back two wheels onto the ground and roll it behind the Wrecker. The Wrecker carries gas just in case the car is only out of gas and does not need to be towed, but just refueled. Both of these trucks are essential to have to any towing company. Now, in front of the shop, towing companies take these vehicles that have been under 30-day holds, and after the 30 days is up, the vehicle becomes legally the property of the towing company. Now, most, such as this Dodge Charger, will be put out in front of the towing company in order to be sold. When you see a car in front of this towing company, it means that it is on display in hopes to be sold. The towing company makes a bigger profit off of a sold impound rather than selling it to pick apart. Now I'm taking you to the boneyard as we speak in order to show you some cars that are recently been sold to pick apart and are awaiting pickup. As you can see, not only cars and trucks are used to be towed, but also motorcycles. Now these are some vehicles that are being sold to pick apart due to just not being able to drive them. Most pick apart pickups are just going to be used as scrap metal and broken down, although some parts may be taken off, such as a good carburetor or distributor. Most likely they are sold to pick apart as junk metal. Now these cars are being stored in the boneyard. As you can see, there's fences all along to keep people out so no one tries to steal anything inside vehicles or the vehicles themselves. This is the boneyard. Now it's called the boneyard because, well, as you see, it looks like a graveyard for cars. The boneyard is directly behind the shop, and there is a second boneyard in case this boneyard gets full, but that is located on a different area. Now we are going to go into the office of the towing company.